Hello everyone! Today I would like to show you some of my products that I've been testing out from Mary Kay, some of my favorites. So this is going to be kind of a get ready with me kind of video. I know when when I'm shopping for makeup, it's better to actually see the products in person. So I figured what better way to do it than make a video of me getting ready so you can see how I apply it and what it's going to look like when it's done. So the first thing that I always do is I always start my face with a moisturizer. This is the Clear Proof moisturizer. It comes with a Clear Proof kit. The kit comes with a toner, and it also comes with a spot treatment. I use this every night and it's worked wonderfully. But the first thing that I always do before I put my makeup on is I always use a moisturizer, because especially where it's been winter, my skin gets really dry. So always start by applying a moisturizer on your face to help. You know, there's nothing worse than going and looking at yourself in the mirror with your foundation and seeing, dry skin all over your face. So use a moisturizer. This one works really well. It doesn't really smell like anything if you're wondering what it smells like, but it does leave my skin really smooth. Okay. The second thing I do is after I put on my moisturizer, I kind of let it dry for a minute. But then I'm going to use a foundation. And this one that I'm going to use is the Mary Kay Mineral Foundation. This is in Ivory too. It's a little bit light for me, but what I like to do when I have a foundation that's a little too light for my skin tone is I use a bronzer. So I'll use a little bit of bronzer with this normally, but today I'm just going to put it on and just let it be. I don't need to be, I'm just going into town. I don't need to do a full face. So this is kind of like something I do regularly. My makeup's pretty dramatic, I guess, to some people, but it's what I like, and you do whatever it is you feel comfortable with. Second part is I'm going to start with my Mary Kay Mineral Foundation. I usually, I'll bounce between a liquid and a mineral, but I have found that on days where I want a little bit of a lighter coverage, something that's not very heavy, the mineral foundation is the better for you. So I just take my little round brush and I swirl it around, and then I gently do little circles around my face. And I always start, for me, I usually start on one side and then work my way to the other. One of the things that's most important when you're putting on your makeup is the brushes that you use. I noticed that when I first started just using makeup in general, I never wore makeup until I graduated from high school, because I just didn't know how to put it on. But once I started wearing makeup, I watched a YouTuber named Candy Johnson, and she changed my life as far as makeup was concerned. She showed me what brushes were the best to use, and I ended up going out and buying some, and let me tell you, brushes make a world of difference. This is a Mary Kay brush. It's the mineral foundation brush. Definitely something you're going to want if you want to use mineral foundation. It's just kind of like a stiff rounded brush with a flat top. Makes it a lot easier to put on. I would not use a blush brush to put it on. It's not going to come out the way you want it to. It'll be, even though it's mineral, you'll still see spots on your face. So you just want to do an all-over coverage with this. This is kind of a sheer coverage, but if you have acne or you have some spots that you want to treat, which I do have a couple, it doesn't mean that you can't use a liquid concealer. In fact, I have a couple that I'll use. That's my next step. Usually I'll go through with my concealer, and this is the Ivory 2 Mary Kay concealer, and all I do, got a little on my hands here, it comes out, it's just a little liquid, and when I have like little spots. Usually mine are right along the hairline. So I'll kind of go through and apply it wherever I need it. I've been fortunate recently, ever since I started using that clear proof system, my acne has been almost non-existent. It's been fantastic. So if you suffer with acne, I have a dry to normal skin combination. It does not dry my skin out as long as I use the products on a daily basis. It comes with a face wash as well, which I keep in my shower. So whenever I take a shower, I just wash my face with it, and then I get out and I apply the toner and then the moisturizer right before I go to bed. Wake up every morning with a nice smooth face, and it's clean, and you can tell that it's clean. Let me wipe this off. Now that I've got that on, next I always go for the eye. I talked to my mom recently, and my mom was testing out some of the eyeshadows, and I said, you should put a primer on. And she's like, primer? She'd never heard of an eye primer. And she was thinking, kind of like a paint primer. Well, you want to think of it the same way. When you go to put paint on your walls over another color, you can see the other color coming through. It's not the full pigment of the color you're trying to put onto the wall. Same thing goes for your eye. You always want to put a primer on your eyelid first before you put on your eyeshadow. Okay, so the second thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to apply the primer. So you just put a little bit on your finger, and a little goes a long way. So then you just want to smooth it over the lid. And you want to make sure that you don't pull too tight. Pulling on the lid creates wrinkles, and nobody wants wrinkles. But just apply it to the top of the lid, or all over rather. Okay. Now this is going to make the eyeshadow really pop. Without it, your colors, the pigments aren't really going to come through, and you're going to have to keep putting layer upon layer upon layer to get the colors to come through. Okay. So, whoop. The third thing that I do. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and put on an eyeshadow. The first eyeshadow is Sweet Cream by Mary Kay, and they come in these cute little cases. You can buy another case. These are actually magnetic on the bottom, and they stick in the case, so you can interchange them, if you're going to travel, or you just want to take it with you in the car just to for touch-ups or whatever. You can interchange them, take them out, and the same thing goes for the blushes. They're also magnetic. But the first one, I always use 2 eyeshadows when I do my eyes. So the Sweet Cream's first. So what I do is I take a fluffy brush. This is my little fluffy brush. This is not Mary Kay, but Mary Kay has brushes just like these. If not, if you don't want those, you can always get them anywhere, but a fluffy brush is what I use. And since we've already got the primer on, you just dabble it in here. And then all you do is, it doesn't even need to be perfect, you just slap it all over the eye. Just brush it all over. Because what this is it kind of just gives it a little bit more of a matted tone. It gives it a little bit of a highlight as well. It just makes the eye stand out a little more. Just kind of put it all over. No rhyme or reason for it. Any shadow that gets on the outside, or you have any fallout that lands on your cheeks, you can just brush it off after, especially this where it's a neutral color. You're not even going to notice it. So that was that color. And then the second one I'm going to use is Mary Kay's Espresso. This is kind of a matte brown that I really love. It's kind of hard to find matte colors that are, really pigmented and just all over good. But this is the Espresso, and I'm really loving this one. So then with this one, I take just an eyeshadow brush. And you want to make sure your brushes are clean. You never want to use dirty brushes, because you go to put the Sweet Cream on, and you use this brush for the Espresso. You go to put it all over your eye, and then that's going to be all brown. It's going to darken your eye right up. So you don't want to do that. There's been times where I forget to wash them because I'm in a hurry and I'm a mom, so I don't have time all the time. But try to keep your brushes separate. Don't use them. I do use this for my the sweet cream color for the all over. When I'm in a hurry, I don't think about it. I just put it on. But just make sure that they're clean. You can always just I usually have paper towel around, and I just rub them off just to make sure there's no excess color in there. So take a little bit of the espresso, and then we're going to apply this in the crease of the eye, and then I go like put it, kind of do like a windshield washer, windshield wiper motion. And you just kind of go right in the crease. And then I go from the crease, and then I kind of, because when you're doing the crease, it's kind of flat and it's in there, and I turn it sideways, and then I try to blend it up a little bit. You want to blend as much as you can. You see how that color's coming through? That's because I put the primer on. I've done this same makeup without the eye primer just because I forgot to put it on, and I end up having to wash it off and then put it on again. So eye primer is very important when you're doing any sort of makeup. They also have face primer. I use it when I'm using a liquid foundation. It keeps it on, it keeps it smooth. And then another little trick that I have is if say you're having a wedding or you're going to prom and you put your makeup on and you want it to stay and not come off, hairspray. You spritz a little bit on your face, and as weird as that sounds, your makeup will last all day. They do have a makeup setting spray, which Mary Kay does have, so you can order that, and that will also just keep your face completely like as if you had just done your makeup. You won't have to do any touch-ups at all. So let's go ahead and let's do the second eye. Let's get this in here. Just kind of push it up. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. I have a little mirror down here I'm going to use. Whoops. So sweep it in. Make sure it's nice and blended. Now I always tell people, I've done some makeup for some weddings in the past, and I always tell everybody not to look at yourself or not to worry about your makeup and how it's looking completely until it's done. You know you're doing your makeup well if you look a little bit crazy at first, because once it's done, then you can really see how well it looks. So now that that's done, I take a blending brush. This is just a flat top, a little blending brush. And I just kind of run it over the top to blend the cream and the espresso together so it doesn't, you don't want to see the separation of the colors. Just kind of buff it out. Okay, so now the shadow part, that's all I use for the shadow. And this is just my regular, this is kind of my everyday makeup. So second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do an eyeliner. And the eyeliner that I'm going to use is the cream, it's jet black gel eyeliner. And let me tell you, I'm usually a pencil eyeliner kind of girl, or a liquid. I had never used a cream eyeliner before, or a gel. This one I decided to try, and it comes with a little brush. You can always use buy a makeup brush that's got a little bit of an angle to it and use that. This is just kind of to get you used to putting it on. But this stuff is so smooth, and I absolutely love it. I use it all the time now. It glides on, and it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on, and you can see, let me do a little test here. So I always put some on, and then I take off some of the excess because you don't need a lot. But I always test it on my hand when I show people how well it works. Like, it's just, I don't know if you can see that. It's amazing. It's the best gel eyeliner I've ever had, and I will not use anything else. But like I said, this is the Jet Black Gel Eyeliner from Mary Kay, and you will not be sorry getting this. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to put some of this on. Now, this is part of the part where I said, you know, you don't pull on your eyelid. You don't want to do that. Pulling on it will not give you, it'll make it so your lines aren't exact. And if you're trying to get that cat eyeliner look, pulling on it is not going to help. You want to just kind of hold it taut just so it's a little bit out. You don't want to pull like this. That's not good, and it will never come out the same, and it'll help because your pressure is going to be different from one side to the other, especially if you're using the same hand, so your eyes are never going to match. Just don't pull on your eyelids. So here we go. You wanna see, I'm not putting a ton on. Let's pull this a little closer. There's one eye. You can see I didn't put a lot, but it's just enough. You can always go thicker with your lines. So let's do the other eye. And again, you want to dip it in, and then you want to scrape the excess off because you don't want a whole lot just getting on there, big glob, because then it's going to be impossible to remove. Now, I will say with this stuff, I was telling a friend of mine that when she was over here picking up her order, I was talking about this liner, and I'd had a line on my hand, and it had been there for days. I had showered with it, and it was not coming off. You definitely need a eye makeup remover to get it off, or you really need to scrub. If you're looking for something to go with like a waterproof mascara. So I always found like they always have waterproof mascara, but I've never seen like an eyeliner that was waterproof because that smudges on me a lot. Especially in the summertime if you go in the pool and I always have makeup on. I never go without makeup. But this, it dries in no time, and it stays on and it doesn't move ever. So the only thing is I don't put the gel liner on the bottom line. What I do is I have the Mary Kay eyeliner pencil in, it just says Mary Kay Black. Where did I put it? I've got so much makeup on my table that I'm losing pieces. Oh, that's it. So this is just the Mary Kay liner pencil in black, and I've used it quite a bit. This is also goes on so smooth. I found some of them where you have to put it on and you go over and over and over to try to get it. This one, you don't want to press too hard because it'll really come out. So let's put this one on. I put it on my lower eyelash lid. You want to make sure you put this on the lower lid. And I only go about halfway. If I go all the way, my eyes become really dark and really squinty, and I kind of like to keep my eyes a little bit more open than that. So only go halfway. Okay. So there we have our eyeshadow, we have our eyeliner, we have the eyeliner on both top and bottom. The next thing I use is my mascara. Now, the mascara part. I used to have nice thick lashes, but I have this habit when I have mascara on is picking the mascara off, because sometimes your makeup remover does not work very well, and I pull and then I lose lashes. So my lashes right now, I don't know if you can tell, they're not very long, not very thick. They're kind of sparse because, like I said, they fall out a lot, especially after having my kids. They fell out all the time. So I have found with this is the Lash Love Lengthening Mascara by Mary Kay. This stuff lengthens my lashes like crazy. Love it. It thickens them. If you want them even thicker, sometimes I pair it with the Ultimate Mascara by Mary Kay, and both of them are in black. This one's I Love Black, and this is just black. If you want to pair the two, go for it. It'll come out even better if you want really full, really long lashes. But since I'm not really going anywhere today, other than just going to run some errands, I don't want my eyelashes to be that dramatic. But this is what the brush looks like. It's got a little bit of a curve to it. It doesn't overly fill the brush. I know some of them you get a lot of product and it's really clumpy. Your eyelash is not clumpy. So this is what I use. And normally I curl my lashes, but I don't know where that went. Probably my little one ran off with it. So I'm gonna use this. And what I do is they always work. You always want to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle when you put them on to really get it to work in there. I also kind of roll the brush as I go up to really work that product in there. Just a little bit more. You can always go back and you can always layer up. So like put on one coat, let it dry, and then put on another coat. Can you see the difference? Love it. Absolutely love it. So let's do the other eye. Don't you love it? I love it. Okay, so I do a little bit on the bottom. And sometimes what I'll do even is I'll take a little bit of the Espresso again, the Espresso eyeshadow, and I'll use, this is like a little crease brush, or you can use a smudgy brush. And I put a little bit on the end, and I'll go underneath to give it a little more of like a smoky look. Try to kind of blend it all together. There's that. Okay, so my eyes, done. This is how I do that. Next, I always go for my blush. Now this blush is Shy Blush. It's kind of it's a pink, but if you look at it and when you see it, if you see it in person, it's got a little bit of like a pearl esque coloring to it. Or opal, there we go. Opal is the perfect description of it. It's got like this opal-y shimmer over the top, and it looks maybe a little bit scary at first. When you put it on, it's like this beautiful light blush pink. So I'm gonna get my blush brush. I use just a little brush, dab, a little goes a long way, blow, and then I put it right along my cheekbones. See, and it's not too harsh, it just adds a little bit of color. And I saw, when I did my mom's makeup, I saw her doing the nose and the forehead with this. Don't do that. If that's what you're doing, do not put your blush there. Think about it. When you're outside and, you know, it's a little bit chilly, what gets pink? Your cheeks. When you're embarrassed, what gets pink? Your cheeks. You don't want your forehead to be pink or your nose or your chin, because then it's going to look like you have a little bit of like rosacea or something. Just a light pink on the cheeks is all you need. Now, the final step that or actually it's the second to last, I do my eyebrows. My eyebrows, I am not using a Mary Kay product. This is just an NYC product that I had picked up many years ago. So I'm just going to do this really quick. You don't want to really, you don't draw your eyebrow. Mine desperately need to be waxed, but I just kind of fill in because there's certain spots that are a little bit sparse. And if you're going to do a full face of makeup, you got to do your eyebrows too. I don't know if you can see the difference. Just, it doesn't add a whole lot, but it adds enough so that your face looks complete when it's done. And I also have really short eyebrows. They're not very long. I do not pluck them this short or this way. They, it's just the eyebrows I've been blessed with. So I use it to extend them just a smidge to give them a little bit more length. Okay, and now the final step. Lips. Now this lip color I've been wearing for weeks. Absolutely love it. And I always compare two. I always have a lipstick and a lip gloss. And the lip gloss is highly pigmented, so you don't necessarily need to use both, but I think it looks so beautiful together. This lipstick is Sunset by Mary Kay. And let me do a little bit of a swatch here. It's kind of just, it's a little bit more of like a matte rosy color. There's no sparkles in this, which I don't really care for sparkles on my lips in my lipstick. So let's put this on. You always want to make sure you accentuate that Cupid's bow with your lips. Okay. So that's step one. And then I use the gloss. This gloss is Red Passion by Mary Kay as well. And this does have a little bit of a shimmer in it, but it adds something to the lipstick that just, I love it. I absolutely love it. Gives a little more pop. So you just kind of glide it over. So I have a nice red lip. Love a red lip. A really good red lip. I'll do a little bit of like a swatch here too. You can see that it's got like, whoops, it's got a nice shimmer to it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely my favorite lip gloss. And I'm going to have a description. I'll have names for all the products that I used and then a link to my website so you can go and order them for yourself. But that is it for my makeup. I hope you enjoy it. If you want some of the products that I have used today, go down to the bottom and click on the link, and then you can go to the bottom, click on the link, and it'll direct you to my page, and you can find all these products right on there. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.